This has a lot of buttons. And things I'm not familiar with. All the lights went off.
Yeah.
Well, 1 hour later, our pizza's still cold. We're Ryan and Abby, and this is Lost Among Locals. This week we finish up our road trip through Greece. We learn a little about the Trojan War. We see a big old theater. And we visit some Bible places. You know the drill. Get your coffee. Let's go. Well, looks like we finished up just in time. Sorry, people still on the mountain. Y'all gonna get wet. This mountain road is absolutely incredible. Like, we've seen some of the most beautiful vistas and valleys. It's got a lot of potholes, and it's raining, so really can't show you much of it, but it's so pretty. Okay, sometimes you drive through a place and you just like kick yourself that you've already like booked something for the night, which, I mean, it is 5 p.m. so we kind of had to book something before all the places were like, no, we don't take people anymore. That little town of Leonido, adorable. Like, nestled in the mountains, pretty decent size, but felt small, like so cute, and all the buildings were like perfectly yellow with red tile roofs and has an interesting history. Like, there's a fort there and there's a great big monastery up on the hill. All right, you guys, so we have landed in the cutest little town of Argolus. It is right by the beach, and we have landed this super great Airbnb. It's actually a complete 2-bedroom home, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-story home. Got like a little bar area here, a little fireplace if it were winter. Definitely don't need it right now. Let's go upstairs. A cutie patootie spiral staircase that I'm gonna fall down on. Second bathroom, nothing fancy there. A great little bedroom with tons of storage and lots of books. If I read Greek, but I don't. And the best part for me, this big lovely kitchen. There are 2 coffee machines, espresso maker, and an actual big pot American style coffee maker. So excited. I'm so excited about that, you don't understand. Not a bad view, huh? And in this little village, this place costs us $45 a night on the Airbnb. Okay, so we just made our first grocery run here, and there's a really great little mini store at the end of the road that had everything. It was more like a big store in a mini building. But anyway, they had all of these like handmade looking different ice creams of all flavor, like little cones and bars and stuff. And I was eyeballing them, and I decided not to get one, and I moved on my way. And then the owner of the store came and brought each one of us a free little baby ice cream and told us to enjoy our holiday. How sweet was that? They were super sweet family. And my heart belongs to anyone who gives me free ice cream. This has a lot of buttons. And things I'm not familiar with. Go up here. Okay, and then no, I don't do that. Just do this. Okay. This changed from the time to something else, so I just don't know what it's supposed to be on. because it says at high temperature it either needs to be on this or that, I guess. All the lights went off.
Yeah.
Was it still on? It's still working?
I don't know.
It's dark in there.
It's dark. Getting cool in there?
Mm-hmm. It's not as hot as it was a while ago.
I wonder if the T means temperature.
Like it stopped. Like it tripped
stopped.
a breaker or something. We threw a breaker. It's all fixed now. I don't know how we threw a breaker. The only thing we have on in the whole place is the stove or the oven. And Ryan's phone's plugged in, that's it. 1 hour later, our pizza's still cold. So yeah, turns out this kind of oven doesn't work if the clock's not set. So you can't be a lazy American and never set your oven clock. It won't works. Morning, guys. Well, us and Smurfette are off this morning. That's what we named our car, by the way, because she's blue and little. So, anywho, us and Smurfette were off to Mycenae. Off to Mycenae today. Now, I don't know a lot about Mycenae, but I do know some things in the mine vault. Mycenae, or the Mycenaeans, were the ancient Greeks' ancestors. They were super successful, very artsy, and they were in charge during the Battle of Troy. The king of Mycenae was Agamemnon?
Yeah,
Agamemnon. He's the brother of the really ticked off husband of Helen of Troy. Menelaus' wife ran off with the Prince of Troy. He wasn't very happy about it. So he was the king of Sparta. And so he came to his brother, the king of Mycenae, the most powerful king at the time, and was like, hey, let's go get my heifer wife back. And his brother's like, yeah, okay. I don't really care about your heifer wife, but like we can attack Troy and stuff, and that'll be fun. And that's pretty much what happened. Alright guys, so we had to debate this one for a little bit because looking at the site from the outside, it really doesn't look like much but rubble. And it does still cost 24 euros, which is about $30, like the rest of the big sites. So we had to debate a little bit because, you know, we have to be selective. But here's what it came down to. All the reviews say this place is sprawling and amazing. This place is actually 1,000 years older than the civilization in Athens. So, you know, looking at the Acropolis built in 400 and something BC, 447 or something like that, this is like 1,000 years older than that. It's tied with all the stories of Troy, and we just decided that we probably shouldn't pass it up, and at least this way we can give you a proper review and let you know if you should waste your money or not.
Yeah.
The famous landscape. They don't got no heads. These are some big old rocks.
Yeah, it's massive. You're so little.
3,500 years ago. Right? Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
3,500 years. How y'all be moving this stuff? Giants.
Giants. Wow. That's a pretty impressive gate.
I mean, look at the size of that lintel. These rocks are seriously so big. I haven't gotten to see the pyramids yet because, I mean, y'all know our Egypt disaster, but I imagine they big old rocks like this.
Terrible view. It's awful.
So it looks like they might be using this COVID time period to get all the signs remade, and like the text redone, because the sun kind of ruins it up, you know, beats down on it up here. So we don't have much info. These kings and their mountaintops. Come on.
Do you blame them? Do you see the views they get? Looks like the wall was trying to bulge in. They're like, nope, let's try to brace this.
These remind me of Irish tombs.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so the sign said that they would basically bury the king or important person in the center of this big circle tomb, and it would be beehived, you know, the top with rocks and everything. They have really similar tombs like this in Ireland from about the same time period. I mean, a little older. And then they would bury the whole thing in dirt, so that's why it's like under a mound, to keep grave robbers from finding it. But it didn't work because they never found any bodies in these, it said. It's another tomb. Okay, this second tomb is much more intact. You can see the beehive structure.
Your phone has no data connection, so I can't help you with that at the moment.
Siri, I didn't really need your help anyway, but thank you. Jeez.
And the acoustics in here.
Yeah, why don't you sing us a little ditty? Part of the story that's not as famous is after the War of Troy, when Agamemnon's on the way back to his kingdom, Clytemnestra and her lover have been murdered. And then the son and daughter are like, oh no, Mom, that's not cool. So they murder her and her lover. So basically, this whole Paris and Helen love affair business destroyed all kinds of families. Agamemnon go to help his brother get his heifer wife back. He's gone for 10 years and his own wife gets a lover. He gets himself killed on the way back. His kids start killing people. Everybody start killing people. And within 2 generations, they lose the whole kingdom. So, it's just a hot mess. Moral of the story, grass is not always greener. Don't do that. Also, guys, we're taking this lightly and calling Helen a heifer. First of all, just because we're kidding. But also, this whole story of Troy, you know, while there is some ancient evidence, and you know there was a city of Troy, the people and the characters that take place don't really know a lot about. There's a lot of mythology, people debate on it a whole lot, and we've got a lot of stories, but nobody really knows if any of them are 100% true or not. So it's kind of like, we know these things, but do we really? Alright guys, so is Mycenae worth it? I would say if you're really interested in Greek history, yes, it's worth it. I would say if you're going to come to Greece one time in your life and you want to see all the things, absolutely. You've saved up money for the trip, yes, it's worth it. If you're more of like a hit the majors and then get to the island to the beach kind of person, nah, it's not for you. Go see Delphi in the glorious mountains, an hour from Athens. Yeah, it's fabulous. But yeah, for us, I think it was.
I think so.
Yeah. Well, that's a Mycenaean wrap up, y'all.
That store owner has got to be the nicest guy.
Seriously.
Every time we go in there and buy something, he gives us something free. Like today, yesterday was some ice cream, so we bought some ice cream today. And today he gave us a bunch of those little like plum peach things. A bunch of those little peaches.
From his farm.
From his farm. He goes here and they're like loads us up with a bunch of them. Like, so nice.
bars and coffee shops, a whole aisle of like little straw umbrella hut things and some shade and some chairs. We think probably when it's busy you might have to pay for these because they each have like a number on them, but we just kind of sat down and nobody said anything to us. There's a nice little cove beach here. There's a lifeguard on duty. Super cute. Welcome to the ancient site of Epidavros. Now, Epidavros was sort of like Butrint in Albania, if you remember that video. If not, except this one is even older. So they say that the ruins here date from even prehistoric times, so before we even had writing to talk about it. But in the Mycenaean period, in like, I don't know, 1200 BC, there was some doctor practicing here that was very famous. And then eventually the temple of Asclepios was built here much later. So Asclepios, if you remember from Butrint, was like the healing god. So this is a place where you came to get healing from mental or physical pain, it said. So the way it would go down, there was a process. From what I understand, you would come in, you would give the god your sacrifice, whatever it was that you brought. You would get ritually purified in some sort of bathing process, and then you were told to go to this spot in the hostel and go to sleep. And while you were sleeping, the god was either going to cure you in your dream or give you some sort of information for your treatment. But they also found a lot of practical medical stuff here, so it looks like they did actually perform surgeries and probably some practical medical treatment as well. Here's where you take your bath. It's a bit exposed. Hope you're comfortable with public nudity. Here's the banquet hall, where the ritual meals were preserved and eaten. It says they found remnants of couches and fires that still had food on them. Here's where you sacrificed your goat. So the festival of Asclepios took place here at Epidavros, and part of that spectacle was games, sort of in Olympic fashion, but not as big of a deal. This is the temple, and more baths. Apparently, the god of health and wellness is very concerned with cleanliness. It says a later traveler named this building the Tholos, but they actually found the inscription of its funding and creation from the 4th century BC, and they call it the Thymele, which means the altar. So apparently this building was part of the temple complex that's behind us. So you have the temple, the bath, and the altar.
It's under construction.
Archaeology.
Archaeology.
What are all these half circles?
Where you sit and rest.
Oh.
See, that one has a table in the middle of it.
Oh, it does?
Yeah,
Oh.
looks like a table.
They're booths.
No booths. Or hot tubs.
Hot tubs? They can't hold water. Not a hot tub. It says they know exactly who built it and how it was built because they inscribed every detail of the building of it on giant slabs inside the sanctuary. It's like premonition. Should a fire come along in, 700 years? This is how I built this, and this is how you can rebuild it. Oh, by the way, I built this. So the site of Epidavros is not on any tourist itinerary because of the Temple of Asclepios or any of the ruins that we've already seen. It is on the radar because of this bad boy. The theater here at Epidavros is a beast. It's one of the largest and best preserved of the Greek ancient theaters. It can hold up to 15,000 people and is said to have perfect acoustics. So perfect, in fact, that it is still used for theaters and plays today. Made it. So the literature here said it's also one of the very rare evidences of a Greek theater that was not modernized or changed during the Roman period. So theater was super important to the Greeks. They actually thought that watching a dramatic play was beneficial to your physical and mental and emotional health. So part of your healing process here was to come watch a play. This doofus. been down there posing like Atlas and Hercules, and I don't even know what he's doing. He's got everybody up here in the stadium laughing. I'll come down. Should I make him come all the way back up these stairs and then tell him just to go back down? That'd be fun. Good morning, guys, from Corinth, or Corinthos, home of the Corinthians. Yep, those Corinthians, Bible lovers. So, even though Paul probably would not have been my friend, like, I don't think I'd like to hang out with that dude. He doesn't seem super fun. I do respect him, and it's cool to stand in some of the places that he stood. We were actually able to go to the Areopagus in Athens, where he preached one of his famous sermons, so that was pretty cool. And then here in Corinth, he actually spent about 18 months in Corinth, working as a tent maker and selling his wares in the market, and obviously doing some preaching, because that's what he did. So it's pretty cool to be in this place. Corinth has a really cool history. There's a beautiful, beautiful museum here with a lot of things for a small museum. Like, it has some really beautiful statues and pottery and stuff. And obviously it sits in a really important part of the country. It's like Corinth was a major trading port because of where it sat with, like, I don't know, kind of as a bridge to the rest of the Peloponnese where we've been and the mainland. So it was super important during its day, and there's a lot of ruins here to look at. So, and they're kind of all in one place, and the town that surrounds it is super, super cute. So you should visit here. It's cute. So right here at the Bema, this is mentioned in Acts, and it's basically the rulers of the area, Jewish rulers of the area, brought Paul here to accuse him of teaching things against Jewish law. But basically the Roman governor of the area was like, yeah, that's a Jewish issue, I don't care. Well, outside of Athens, we haven't had any trouble using our camera equipment, so we didn't think it was off limits today or against the rules, but we got in trouble. So we had to finish up with our GoPro. We're at a restaurant called Mycenae, which was recommended to us by our hotel host. We are having a traditional feta cheese. The Greeks love their feta cheese. It's in a Greek salad. It's like a huge slab on top. Like, it's a very traditional element of the food cuisine here. But this one is a little bit different. This is a spicy variation. It's like a dip almost, spicy cheese that's covered with olive oil, served with some beautiful hot sesame seed bread, and it looks still hot. I can do it. Let's see how spicy this spicy cheese is. Not terribly spicy, but it does have really good flavor. It does have a hot element to it. I can't really tell what it is, but it's tasty. Look at this cute Greek baby lime soda. It's like in a lime. And just like that, our moussaka has arrived. Moussaka is almost like a meat pie, sort of. It has usually potatoes and eggplants or eggplants. Minced meat, usually beef or pork, and then a baked, like, sort of, not hardened, but like browned, that's the word I'm looking for, cheese slab on top. And it's glorious. And there's some vegetables and stuff mixed in there as well. Very traditional Greek meal since like the 50s, I think. I don't think it's like been around in the Greek diet for a long time, but it is something you can find pretty much all over Greece, and it's super tasty. What you eating?
Moussaka.
Moussaka. That was one of the better meals we've had.
Yeah, that was really good.
It was.
Mycenae in ancient Corinth. Go there.
Alright guys, we have climbed the big rockety thing in Smurfette to the tippy top to Acro Corinth. which I don't know what that stands for. I read it earlier, but I can't remember. But it's supposed to be the largest and best preserved castle in all of Greece. That's what it said.
Slow and steady.
Yeah. If my general told me that we were gonna attack this place, I'd just be like, nah, man. Let him keep it. I don't wanna. This is really huge. We just came through like the third gate. Finally at the top, well, not even the top of the hill, but this seems to be where the bulk of the castle is built. So there are 3 fortification walls. Again, I'd be like, General, no, man. It's too steep. Pretty great view. What's in here? I don't know. It's just a little empty beehive room. I don't know. There's more fortifications like way up there. Sheesh. If you fall in a bottomless pit, you die of starvation. 10 points to anybody who knows what that's from and can drop it in the comments. You're a winner.
It's a beautiful hike. It's just hot and steep. And yeah.
What's new?
And of course, like normal, we forgot, water.
What's new?
And you get this. Oh, that olive oil.
That wasn't as bad as it looked from below. You get a full 360 from up here. Corinth at the seaside. This place is too cute. And it has the cutest rooftop terrace with the best view. And it's right in the middle of the city. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so when our host showed us this place this morning, he said if you push this button over here, the window does something cool. And I've been wanting to push this button ever since. And now we're back and I get to push the button.
Oh, that's cool.
How fancy is that? Oh, it's gonna get so dark.
Oh. Nice.
That's the coolest thing I've ever seen. You guys, this little Airbnb we got has the best location. We're right in front of the Acrocorinthos. There is the ruins of Old Corinth. We've got a crazy sunset just went behind the clouds. It looks over this beautiful little church, and there's even something going on at the church tonight. Okay, well, how fun was that? We got dinner and a show from our own terrace. Unfortunately, we had no idea what was going on in the play. It was kind of like just two guys, and it was a lot of monologues, and of course it was all in Greek. So it was Greek to me. All right, you guys, that is the end of our road trip here in lovely Smurfette. So we hope you guys enjoyed this road trip through the Peloponnese. If you did, let us know in the comments, what was your favorite place? What did you think was the most impressive? Was it the crazy mountains in Delphi? Was it the Olympic Stadium in Olympia? What else? What else did we see? We saw so many great things.
Mombasa.
Was it Mombasa and that incredible fortress on the hill and the beautiful little town? Yeah, let us know. What was your favorite? We can't choose one. We're bad at picking favorites. Anyway, stay tuned for next week when we take, where are we going next week?
Going to the islands.
We're going to the islands. Stay tuned for next week when we take you to the incredible blue and white Greek islands of infamy. It's going to be fabulous. I can't wait. I'm ready for water. Yeah,
Water.
we're ready for some water. What we can say, don't skip the Greek Peloponnese. If you come to Greece and you only see Athens for a day and then you hop to an island, you're going to have a great trip.
Yes.
But you're definitely going to miss the essence of Greece. Like the amazing people, the amazing food, and the incredible, incredible history that the Peloponnese Peninsula offers. Make a road trip through the Peloponnese. You should. You'll love it, especially if you love history or even like it a little. You'll love it. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right. We'll see you guys next week.